And now we get down to it with my buddy, Mr. Danny Seraphine.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, man. You know, you are, to me, coming up, you were a classic drummer. And a guy who really is one of the pioneers of jazz rock fusion, you know? Big band drumming, the credibility of all that and your schooling and everything, mixed with a rock and roll spin, and those two mediums fused, and you had, you know, other bands that did it were Blood, Sweat, and Tears, of course, but you guys were by far the biggest and with the most longevity and legs. Yeah. I suppose Chase and some others, you know. There
Lighthouse, remember there was a band called Lighthouse, remember, out of Canada?
Yeah.
Cold Blood.
Cold Blood, I was going to mention them. I didn't know if you knew them.
Oh, yeah, sure.
They were more San Francisco, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because I'd see them play around when I was a kid. So.
Sons of Champlin.
Yeah, Sons of Champlin, of course, and Bill ended up with them. I mean, Sons of Champlin was a real classic. I mean, I lived, born and raised, you know, pretty much in Marin County.
Yeah, so you definitely.
I mean, those guys were like the local heroes. You know, you could see them all the time. Yeah.
It was a great time in music, though.
It really was.
It was I feel privileged to have kind of been a part of it.
Yeah.
And you experienced it too, you know, where people came to your show and the more out you took things, the more they dug it, you know? And you got rewarded for creativity. And it wasn't a perfect world. I don't want to make it sound like it was a perfect world. There was a lot of bullshit going on then too, but there was opportunity for musicians and you could make a living playing clubs and the club circuit across the country. You know, unfortunately, that's kind of dried up to a certain degree because with the internet and the way things have changed. So I just hope that the new young players get their chance to cut their teeth the way I did. And you know, I mean, on cover songs, playing nightclubs. It's all great training. It's leading to where I ended up when the evolution that kind of happened when I put Chicago together and, you know, the jazz rock thing that just kind of evolved, you know, from studying Buddy and Gene Krupa and Cozy Cole and Max Roach and then getting out to Elvin and Tony. And you know how, and Mitch Mitchell was a big influence on me.
He was another one you could really tell. His chops were classic. They were traditional. You know, there was some roots there that you know, it's like your kind of band, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, were the kind of music that my father would say, okay, look. Now, these guys can play. You hear what's going on here? You know, it's not just this rock and roll like The Who or Jimi Hendrix, you know, was a little too out for my dad. But when he heard this medium, you know, he said, okay, these guys can play. It's something I can relate to as an older musician. You know?
Well, a lot of kids get turned on. I met so many drummers, even well-known drummers, that their mothers and fathers listened to us, and their father took them to concerts, and I was the first guy they ever heard.